Today, I'm going to take you through and show you everything that just got released with this new update in Rainbow Six Siege. As you can see, we are on Year 9, Season 2.3, July 24th, 2024. I'm going to take you through and I'm going to show you each and every update that they did, and I'm going to give you my honest opinion on it, and trust me, you're going to want to sit here and hear all of it. Man, I'm telling you, I am frustrated with them. And in my opinion, a lot of this is just changes that I feel like they're just making changes just to say that they changed some things. And we'll go more in depth to that once we get started. But for right now, we have Azami. She got nerfed. Her barriers basically take less damage before breaking, which is something that was needed. You're basically emptying a full clip into her barrier before it breaks, depending on which gun you have. So that was well needed. This is something that I agree with. As we move on to Buck, it says over the last couple years, attackers have gained additional tools to counter defenders' bulletproof utility, such as Brava and Ram. Increased access to explosives, Bond 6 and frag grenades. As time has passed, many of the stronger defenders have also been addressed by adding more non-explosive counters. We got Azami and Fenrir. Therefore, we believe that Buck's Gone 6 is overshadowing other operators who specialize in explosive capabilities. Our intention for Buck is to maintain his focus on environmental destruction and vertical play. We feel that the Gone 6 is unnecessary for him to excel in this area. You can take it away if you want to. I mean, it's definitely a nerf. It's a change that I feel like probably it is okay. It's not bad. That's not a bad change right there. I mean, I'm sure some Buck mains are going to be upset, but I mean, it kind of was needed for a balance, I guess, because you can just walk in, take whatever bulletproof utility that they have, it's gone, and you can just go destruct. He's a very fast-paced type of operator. So removing the Gone 6 probably will have you rethink a little bit before you just walk in and blast everything to death. See, so far, they're not doing too bad. The updates are not so bad. Now we have Ekko. Despite the increased pick rate of the Supernova, our intention to position it as an alternative to the usual site architects has unfortunately resulted in it being underutilized. Consequently, we have decided to restore its armor and speed ratings and reintroduce the magnified scopes, such as your 1.5s, your ACOGs. The new sights are designed to encourage a more passive playstyle, which should, I'm not gonna lie to you, bro, I'm not trying. Well, with him staying on drones at a distance from the action and hold long angles if needed. We acknowledge these adjustments alone may not be sufficient to increase Ekko's presence substantially, so we are investigating additional changes for the Yokai Drone in the background. This was back when Ekko was a menace. And I can agree with this, but this magnified scope situation is something I'm going to get into when we get down to who lost their scopes, because it's starting to feel like some changes are just being made to say we can make changes. I feel like this isn't going to make Ekko get picked more or picked less. I feel like this is just a change that they're making so that way they can say they're making a change. Even here, it says it's not sufficient enough to increase his presence. So why would you make these changes before you figure out a situation with the Yokai Drone that can make him get picked more? I feel like you're just making a change so that way you can say that you're doing something when really it's going to just cause more of an uproar to me. Like, they're just making changes, and I'm not going to say too much before we get into the one that really ticks me. So we're just going to move on to Ella. I'm not going to bore you with all these. I'm not going to. Basically, her observation blocker got taken away. Impact grenades are added. I feel like this is something that probably should have been used because Ella is not being picked at all. I maybe have seen Ella a handful of times since playing this season to begin with. It seems like they really could care less for the operators that don't get picked at all. They don't change them. half the operators that we have now that don't get picked at all, they're not going to do nothing with to make them substantially picked more. And this is just one of those changes that, like, I mean, this is cool. It's just like, what does it do for like her guns? Like the gun that she has, good luck controlling it. It's impossible. Instead of like trying to make that a little bit better so that way she can get picked more, they're just adding, they're like, here's an impact grenade and call it all good. So I mean, it just seems like they're making changes again to just make changes, as none of these are really that bad or that good. It's just they're just moving everything around just to say they moved it, and that's one of my big complaints right now. Now with gridlock, once again, I'm not going to go into reading these. So pretty much all it is her track stingers just get increased from 10 to 15 HP per second while moving in her track stingers. That's cool. That's something. This is something that I can say is doing something for your operator. This is doing something good. She doesn't get picked a whole lot. I barely see her, rarely ever. So upgrading something like this obviously means she needs it. This is a good upgrade for me. This is the one that y'all have been waiting for. This is the one that ticks me off the most. They are basically saying that she needs to be more utility focused. Instead of combat focused, they want her to be more utility focused. I mean, bro, I just don't understand this at all. You increase her banshees from 4 to 3, so now you're going to be walking around and there's going to be 4 banshees across the map that you have to worry about instead of 3 when you're facing against her. That seems like it's a little bit overpowered in its own sense. As well as she gets a shotgun for rotates, pretty much is all it's going to be, is rotates. Which she has impacts to begin with, but that is what it is. And then they removed her ACOG from the sights, so you do not get any magnified scopes with Melusi. Why? This feels like a couple years ago when they're just passing around ACOGs, so you get it, you don't get it, now this person gets it and the other one doesn't, and it's just starting to get too much to keep track of, and that's kind of what made me drop off from the game in the first place and have to come back to it later. And they're starting to do it all over again. I just don't feel like most of these changes are needed. This is going to be a problem for the attackers. This is going to be an overpowered problem. This is a useless change that they don't have to keep making. I mean, I just don't see where they're getting at with this. Once again, they're just making changes to say that they're making changes, and it's starting. These changes that they're making are starting to really irk me. And I'm sorry if you guys feel the other way. Let me know in the comments how you guys are feeling about it. But for me, I just don't see the point. I feel like this is too much. I just made a video on Melusi, by the way, and now I had to scrap the video because now she has 4, so I can go back and remake that for you guys. But it's just a lot of useless changes, man. We're gonna move on to Wumi. Not gonna go into all this. Pretty much, he just got his magnified scopes removed too. Bye bye ACOG. Bye bye your 1.5s. Bye bye. Anything that has a magnified scope will not be with Wumi no more. I mean, like, they are kind of just swapping scopes around, taking them away, giving them to other people. These two kind of fall into the same category of just why. You have now pissed off everybody that likes Wumi, and he is someone that gets picked quite a bit, but I don't really see him as overpowered either, so I don't really see why they need to make that change. With Melusi, she's already picked to death, and then you're going to give her another Banshee, which is a change I don't agree with. I use Melusi, so I'm a little upset about the ACOGs getting taken away, but I'm also like, with all these operators, you're just swapping them around like they did a couple years ago. I know I keep saying it over and over, but I just don't see the use for these changes at all. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments section below. I'd love to hear what you guys think of these new changes. For me, I'm not too much of a fan of some of them. A couple of them are good changes that I think they needed to make, but the other changes that, like, they're just why. they're starting to frustrate me more and more, but I want to know what you guys have to say, so let me know in the comments. Remember to like this video if you enjoyed it. Click that subscribe button. We are on the road to 1.5 thousand subscribers. We are currently sitting somewhere around 1,200, and I cannot thank you guys enough. It really does mean a lot to me. Your support and every comments that you guys leave, I read each and every one of them, and I enjoy interacting with all of y'all. So leave a comment, I'll get back to you. I enjoy talking to all of you. As well as be on the lookout for a new Melusi video for Oregon. I had that video requested to me by one of you, so I will be making that video and dropping it within the next day or two. I had made a video and they made these changes on me, so I have to remake the video with the 4 Banshees instead of 3. That's all I have for this video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.